All right, we'll start a couple minutes early since everyone's here. Good morning. Welcome to EDT 8130 Web Conference number 3, applying the Community of Inquiry Framework to Instructional Technologies and Blended Learning, plus Guidelines for Practice. My name is Brett, as you all know, and I'll be instructor for this web conference. Today is Saturday, February 4th. Please remember to lower your electronic hand, and you have all done that as soon as you enter the room. And I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome all the virtual students who are watching the recorded version of this web conference. If you're watching the recorded version, please make sure you write a robust Ms. Class summary and email it to my Wright State email address listed on the slide. All right, so I want everyone to take a minute, remove all distractions. So put your phone on mute, close the door, and politely ask not to be disturbed. Next, what I want you to do is sit back and mentally prepare. Take a moment to close your eyes, clear your mind, take a deep cleansing breath, and prepare to learn. Before we begin, I want to do a quality check, and this does not apply to our virtual learners. It all applies to you. And we're just going to do one green check instead of for each section. And just make sure I have the Collaborate set up properly. I'll need a green check if you can see the red record button in the upper right-hand corner. I need a green check if you can see the words quality check on the screen. And I need a green check if you can hear my voice adequately. Great, thank you. Okay, today's learning objectives are, at the end of the session, you'll be able to explain the primary challenge to the educational community when using the Community of Inquiry Framework in Instructional Technology, describe 3 benefits of blended learning, name the priority as a guideline for practice that facilitates an effective community of inquiry, and then articulate the importance of presenting pros and cons to leadership for introducing e-learning technologies to an organization. So we're going to start off with an icebreaker, and I'm going to take about a minute or two for this, and you could type it in the text chat, would probably be the best way unless you want to talk. But throughout your lifetime and your educational experience, think of an e-learning technology that you've experienced in education, and then describe the effectiveness of that technology. You know, so for the last 15 years or so, e-learning technology has been kind of omnidirectional or one way. That allowed, you know, view-only access to video slides, audio, and et cetera. They weren't very interactive. So even with the onset of PCs, learning experiences were mostly isolated and autonomous, which required self-learners to become self-regulated when meeting assignment deadlines with no opportunity for interaction or feedback. So go ahead and just, in the text chat, type something that you remember during your educational experience that was an e-learning technology. Okay, got a smart board, whiteboard with clickers. Come on, does anybody remember film strips? Right, I chose this image because it has we used to watch reel-to-reel video with a television set up on a stand just like that, and I thought this kind of reminded me of grade school. Oh, Ben, you're young. You've had all kinds of technology. Okay, good. We're going to move on. Now I'm going to get a little wordy here, so bear with me. I'm going to sound like I have a mouthful of bubble gum, but I'm going to go ahead and go for it. Right now I want to briefly talk about applying the Community of Inquiry Framework to today's instructional or learning technologies, as well as touch on blended learning and then some guidelines for practice. So from our icebreaker, we briefly talked about firsthand how instructional technologies have evolved over the last 30 to 40 years. We've gone from traditional distance education where you work on course delivered to you through the mail to today's interactive e-learning technology. The interactive nature of today's instructional technology has facilitated the ability to incorporate the 3 presences of the community of inquiry, allowing for meaningful learner engagement and discourse. Now, notice I said that allows for the ability. The primary challenge to the education community is designing collaborative experiences using this community of inquiry framework that incorporates the rapid advances of information technology. So blended learning, as you may suspect, is a blend of online e-learning and classroom instruction. Because of this blend, it lends itself to social and teaching presences due to its interactive nature of, you're actually spending time in the classroom as well as, online asynchronous, which is non-interactive, or synchronous, which is live, interactive with others like we're doing right now. e-learning formats. There's numerous studies that support the benefits of blended learning, including increased time on task, higher perceptions of learning, satisfaction or learner satisfaction, social, cognitive, and teaching presence, and higher completion rates in strictly online or face-to-face courses. So guidelines for practicing learning involves incorporating the three aspects of teaching presence, which I know our guest here won't get that, but bear with me, which are design, facilitation, and direct instruction within the community of inquiry. So to have an effective community of inquiry, academic goals must be the priority to keep critical thinking and discourse from turning into nothing more than a chat room. So introducing e-learning technologies requires extensive time to manage and prepare, and could be a barrier to adaptation within an organization. Effective leadership is required to facilitate buy-in within organizations, as well as introducing and integrating the community of inquiry framework as a model for best practice. Because of technological biases and skepticism of e-learning as an effective method of instruction over traditional classroom instruction, educational and organizational leaders can face challenges when introducing and selling e-learning concepts within an organization. So we're going to explore these challenges in our case study. And here's our case study. Take a moment to read the first part. So our case study involves integrating e-learning technologies in the workplace. I'll go ahead and read the instructions, and then I want you to move yourself to the breakout room, which I've created, to complete the study. For the virtual audience, please pause the recording and complete the case study on your own. And when you're done, please include your responses in the missed class summary and resume this recording when you are finished. So for our case study, and you're probably already reading it, but you have been tasked to be a member of a Tiger team to generate ideas on how to incorporate interactive e-learning methods within your organization training program. Even though training is not your area of expertise, you've been on the consumer side or the customer side of previous asynchronous training methods used by your organization and have always thought about ways to make them better. Making recommendations that involves organizational change often requires presenting both pros and cons of an idea along with proposing a final recommendation. The importance of presenting pros and cons allows leadership to make an informed decision since they will be charged with presenting or selling a new idea to the entire organizations. So here's your instructions. You'll be sent, actually I want you to move yourself to a breakout room, and I'm going to give you a period of 5 minutes, and you'll have a whiteboard you can write on using the text tool. Your group is tasked to think of one e-learning method, just one, where you would recommend to incorporate within your organization. And then with that method, I want you to come up with one pro and one con for introducing this technology. You will conclude with a final recommendation to your leadership and a supporting argument. You should decide before finishing this task who is going to speak for your group. And after 5 minutes, I will pull you back into the main room to present your ideas. So go ahead and move yourself to the room number 1. And once you're all there, I'll start the clock. All right, everyone, welcome back. Let me see if I can grab this slide here from the breakout room. And let me go grab it real quick. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm having a little delay here. Can everyone hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Great. Okay, so who's going to speak for the group?
Here, I will.
Okay.
So we wanted to use clickers because that's something that at least some of us are familiar with. We thought the pro to that was it keeps everyone engaged, but the con is that you have to have the device, the batteries have to work. If you're going to have the students be responsible for them, they have to remember to bring them every day. And Megan suggested that the clickers were provided, but they weren't assigned, so it was more anonymous. In my class, I gave them grades every day. So our final recommendation is that the organization should provide the clickers and maintain them, but then use them.
Okay, good. So what was kind of the goal of this case study? Can anyone talk to that?
To maybe make people who aren't used to technology think that possibly it could be integrated even into the workplace?
Part of it, that's part of it, yeah. But also, you know, change is a tough thing for an organization, as you guys well know. So when you introduce something new, you're always automatically going to get resistance, regardless of what it is, and especially with technology. So the goal was to, you know, when you're presenting ideas to leadership, to give all sides of the argument, so that when leadership has to you know, ingrain or synthesize new technology into an organization, that they'll be able to speak to it and be able to justify it and get everyone on board. So very good, thank you. Now let me get back to where I was here. All right. So that's almost it for us. In summary, I explained the primary challenge to the education community when using the community of inquiry framework and instructional technology. Is designing collaborative experiences that incorporate the rapid advances of information technology. And I also described the 3 benefits of blended learning as increased time on task, higher perceptions of learning, and higher completion rates than strictly online or face-to-face classes. I then stated that the academic goals must be the priority as a guideline for practice to facilitate an effective community of inquiry within e-learning. And finally, I described the importance of presenting pros and cons to leadership when introducing e-learning to an organization, so that leadership can make informed decisions when introducing change to an organization. So thank you for your time, and all the virtual learners out there, please email me your missed class summary to the email address that was on the title slide, as well as any questions you may have, and I will get back with you as soon as I can. So thank you for everyone taking the time to join me today, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.